Good morning, everyone. Namaskar. Let us begin. Our study with a prayer. This is on page 196 of the Universal Prayers. The first one on that page, 196. From the Devyaparada Kshimapana Stotram, composed by Shankaracharya. Devi Aparada Kshimapana Stotram. A hymn seeking forgiveness from the Divine Mother, forgiveness for all our mistakes. Om Namokshasya Kanksha Nacha Vibhavavancha Pihridi Me Namijnana Peksha Shashimaki Sukhecha Api Napunaha Atastvam Sangyache Janani Jananam Yatu Mama Vai Pradani Rudrani Shiva Shiva Bhavani Tijapataha. O Divine Mother, I have no desire for liberation. Mokshasya Akanksha na. Nor any hankering for wealth. Neither do I cherish any yearning for knowledge, nor any desire for happiness. O Mother Divine, this only I beg of you. May my life pass in reciting your divine names. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Adhyatmika Shanti in our hearts, Adi Bhautika Shanti among all beings, Adi Daivika Shanti in nature. The prayer here is for constantly repeating the Divine Mother's name. That is more preferable than even liberation. The highest goal of human life is liberation, moksha, God realization. But compared to this, even that is not important. The mokshasya kanksha vibhavavanchapi hridi name. There is no desire for worldly prosperity, wealth, and no desire for knowledge or anything else. Only thing I want, O Divine Mother, from you is to be able to repeat your name all the time as long as I am here. Constant repetition of the Mother's name, that is the only thing that I need, grace that I need. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us continue. We are now studying this section from 19 onwards, sloka number 19 onwards until 23, those 5 shlokas describing Prakriti, Purusha. According to this view, every being has 2 parts in us. Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti means the material, physical part of our personality. Everything, body, mind, sense organs are all made of Prakriti. Then the second part in us is Purusha. Purusha here means the individual consciousness within us. In Vedanta, Purusha means Supreme Purusha reality, Parama Purusha, Purushottama, Brahman. Not that, in the individual Jiva. Each one of us has consciousness associated with this one particular body and mind. That is the single individual Purusha, Jivatma, we can call. Essentially, it is same as Paramatma because all consciousness is one, cannot be divided into parts. But it appears to be separate because of its association with a particular body. That individual Purusha is same as Parama Purusha. I am Atma, Brahma. Yes, Jivatman is same as Paramatman, the Upanishad Mahavakya says. But it appears to be different. Why? Because this consciousness within us associates with the body mind, identifies with it, and then thinks it is the body and the mind, and thinks it is happy and unhappy, pain and pleasure, all these things, whatever happened to the body, mind, it also experiences. So that's what we are doing. So when we become sick or happy or unhappy, we say, I am happy, I am unhappy, I am sick, I am poor, all these things we say. The I means we are not aware of the consciousness, we are only aware of the body mind. It's the body mind that undergoes all the changes. But the Purusha is consciousness. It has no sickness, it has no happiness, no unhappiness, no pain, no suffering, nothing. That is knowledge, to know that I am that Purusha. And that Purusha is same as Paramatma. Just like the space in a cup is same as space outside the cup. There are no two separate spaces. Can cut space into two parts. So that is what we are studying in verse number 21. So, to whom do all the suffering happens? So there is a very nice verse in Viveka Chudamani. Whose are the problems? My eyesight is poor, my hand is hurting, my stomach is paining. Like this, we say, to whom this pain is happening? So we have to inquire into that. There is a very nice one. Many of you studied Viveka Chudamani Swami Atmagyananda Ji. Once you study the book, please don't put it away and say, I've studied Viveka Chudamani, that we have to go back to it frequently. So there is one verse, 101, verse number, Viveka Chudamani 101. Please make a note of that one. So there, Shankaracharya says, whose are the problems? Who has fever? Who has headache? That is being answered here. Verse number 101. Very nice verse, Viveka Chudamani. Andatva patutta dharma saugunya vaigunya vashadhi chakshusha badhirya mukhattamukastataiva shrotradi dharmanutu vetturatmanah. It's a very nice verse, very important verse. I'll say it again. Andhatva, mandatva, patutva, dharma, saugunya vaigunya vashad hi chakshushaha. Chakshushaha. Badhirya mukhatva mukhastathaiva shrotradi dharmanatu vetturatmanah. Andhatva means blindness. Andha means blind person. Andhatva. Mandatva, poor eyesight. Has to wear thick glasses. Andhatva matutva. Patutva means very good eyesight. 20/20 better. Whose are these qualities? Saugunya Vaigunya Vashadhi Chakshusha. Chakshu means eyes. The instrument, Indriya, their inner instrument is also there in the brain. This is the external instrument. These instruments, this eye is an instrument. That instrument has qualities, good and bad. Saugunya, Vaigunya. Sometimes it is very efficient. Sometimes it is functioning, malfunctioning, sometimes not functioning. So these qualities of blindness, etc., poor eyesight, etc., belong to the eyes and not to the Atman. If I think I am the Atman, I cannot say I am blind. My eyes are blind. That separation has to be done. It's very difficult because we are so clearly identified with the body from birth. So now all of a sudden, if I say I am not the body, it is hard to accept. So to practice that one. Vichara. Second line, Badhirya Mukatva. Badhirya means deafness, unable to hear sound. Mukatva means unable to speak. Badhirya Mukatva, Mukhastataiva, all these qualities. Srotradi Dharma. Deafness is the quality, defect of the ears, instrument, Indriya. Mukatva is the defect of the sense organ of speech, cannot speak. Or speech is not intelligible, clear. These are qualities of the sense organs, not of the Atman. Natu veturatmanaha. Atman is the knower, veta. He has no blindness, no deafness, no short-sightedness, nothing. He is pure from all, free from all qualities. Pure consciousness, Sachidananda. That's our true nature. That's what Vedanta says. That we have to remind ourselves constantly. So that is the message in verse number 21. Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhungte Prakriti Jan Gunan. Purusha means the consciousness assumes the qualities of the Prakriti. Prakriti means the physical part that has a defect, good and bad, pain and pleasure. These are all qualities of Prakriti. Purusha assumes that one because of Maya or ignorance or whatever we call. Why means there is no answer. Why should I identify? Why cannot remain Sachidananda all the time? Why should I think I am the body? Say, Vedanta says, avidya, Maya, that is hard to understand. There is no clear answer to the why question. Even in science, how can be answered? Why, if you ask, even science cannot also answer. For example, there is a little boy, 5-year-old boy, playing ball with his dad. And the boy throws the ball and comes back and catches it. Now the boy asks the father, Dad, if I throw this ball, why should it not stay there? Why does it come back to me? Come back to the earth? Why? The father says, this is due to gravity. If you throw something, it will come back to earth. Due to gravity. Gravity? What is gravity? Boy asks. He's only 5-year-old. Gravity means, father explained, gravity, how much can you explain to a 5-year-old child? So gravity means earth attracts all bodies. Two bodies attract each other. Oh. And if the mass, since mass of the earth is very big compared to mass of the ball, it comes back rapidly, acceleration, 32 feet per second per second. So this he explains. So the boy asks, why should the earth attract why gravity is there? Why should it attract why the ball should stay there? Why should it fall? What can the father say? The father can explain the phenomenon of gravity and the force with which each body attracts the other body, product of mass, divided by square of distance, all those things, they are details. How? But why, if you ask, why every body should attract other body? Why can't they stay in their own places? There's no answer. This nature. That's how it is. So why we should think that I am the body, mind? Why should I not say I am the Paramatman all the time? I am the Atman, which is the truth. Ignorance. We don't know. The good news is it can be overcome. We can gain knowledge, self-knowledge. That's why we are trying what you are trying to do now. So we should think about this, and gradually, what we should do, gradually detach ourselves from our attachment to the body mind. That's the purpose of studying this one. Gradually, it takes a long time. This attachment will not go in one day, simply because we study Gita and it will not go. But it gives us the background. Gita study gives us the background, the basis for our spiritual practice. So we should gradually think, give up our attachment to not only body comes at the end. Attachment to other things you can easily give up. First step. Final attachment to body will go, will take a longer time. But attachment to objects we can give up. My money, my child, my house, my body, my job, my car. That those outside objects you can gradually detach ourselves from them. It's easier by degrees. Work, my work, the result of my work, karma phala, we can detach ourselves. This is what Gita has been saying from beginning. So beginning like that, gradually over a period of time, we should begin to think I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm the Atman. This Jnana Marga. If this is very difficult, there is Bhakti Yoga, is Karma Yoga is there. But this is the path of knowledge, inquiry. Now, who is that Parameshwara that's being described? In verse number 22. Let's go to verse number 22. Upadrashtanamanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushah paraha. Asmin dehe, in this body, saha paraha purusha, the supreme reality is there as kshetrajna, as purusha. Upadrashta, the qualities. Upadrashta means, upa means near, pass me. Upa means close. Drashta means seeing from very near. Seeing from far away gives an approximate view. Seeing from nearby gives a clear view. So he is seeing the Sakshi, the Atman, within a seeing everything from the closest quarters. Nobody is closer to us than the Atman. You can say God. God is the closest thing to us, closer than our mind, because he can see what's happening in our mind. Somewhere I recently read something which caused me some disturbance. He said, somewhere I read, I don't remember where I read. It said, Sri Ramakrishna is aware of all your thoughts. Then it disturbed me because I'm thinking all kinds of things, good and bad. Very bad thoughts come sometime, and he's aware of that. So this makes me uncomfortable. If somebody knows all my thoughts, I can't be comfortable. That means I have to always think only good thoughts because he is watching my thoughts. Closest to us, he is the innermost self of us. So we should be thinking only good thoughts because God is watching from within us, nearest, from closest point he is watching, not from a distance. Upadrashta, close observer, close sakshi. Anamantacha, anumati means permission, ijazat, permission. He gives permission means by his power everything happens. Individually he does not give permission. Supposing you say, I want to go drink a cup of water, He says, all right, you can drink a cup of water. He does not say like to me in individual cases. Because of his power operating in me, he allows this action to happen. That's all. Upadrashta. Like the sun. Sun does everything on the earth. But he does not come down to the earth and make things happen. That will be disastrous. He stays where he is, 93 million miles away. Better you stay there. Don't come close. It'll be a problem. But he permits everything to happen on this earth. Like that, God's power makes everything possible, allows everything to happen. Upadrashta namanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha. Bharta means sustainer, bhriparane, to support, sustain. He sustains, supports everything. God's power makes everything possible. That we know from before. Bhokta, as a jiva, he is enjoyer of everything. The jivatma within us enjoy good and bad. Enjoyment is not always good. Experiences. The jivatma. I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I have pain, I have pleasure. I'm poor, I'm rich. These are all experiences. Bhokta. As jiva, he experiences. Maheshwara is Supreme Lord. As Brahman, he has no experience. No good, no bad. Pure consciousness. Infinite ocean of consciousness. Saha Paramatma iti uktaha. He is known as Paramatman, Supreme Lord. Present as Jiva in everybody. Same, essentially, but appears to be different. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva cha sthitam. Let me get that sloka number. I should remember that. It's a very important sloka. It's a index at the end of your book, generally first line index. From here you can find out. Avibhaktam 1316. We already studied that one. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu 1316. Avibhakta means indivisible. Space is indivisible. You can't divide space. Like consciousness is indivisible. You can't separate consciousness into parts. Avibhakta. However, in beings, bhuteshu, vibhaktam iva sthitam. Iva means as if is divided into space. The best example is space. If there is a cup here, empty cup, space is there. That space in the cup is same as space everywhere. In the room and outside the room, in the sky. Only one space. But it appears to be separate because of the association with the cup. If the cup is 8 ounce capacity, that space is 8 ounce capacity, like that. There is no real separation. Vibhaktam iva sthitam, as if it is separated. It appears, it's only appearance. Saha Paramatma iti uktaha, that Paramatman present in all, one infinite eternal being, is known as Paramatman. Chapi uktaha, Paramatma chapi uktaha, known as Paramatman also. Asmin dehe saha para Purusha. Ismin, in each body. Human body, animal body, plant body, every body. God is present as the individual Purusha, Jiva. In some people, his presence is clearly visible, holy people. In some people, his presence remains hidden from you because their minds are not clear. The layer of ignorance covers the presence of God. That we know from earlier studies. Purusha Paraha. Because of his power, everything functions in the whole universe, not only on the earth, whole universe. Stars everywhere shine. The other day I said that they recently discovered the biggest galaxy, which is 100 trillion Stars. Can you imagine that number? 1 trillion is 1 billion, 1,000 billion. 100,000 billion stars in one galaxy. You can imagine the magnitude, mind boggling magnitude. So, all those stars are shining, and many of them have planets like our Earth. People and other beings may be living there. They all function because of power of the Supreme Lord, Paramatma, Brahman. There is a very nice sloka in the both in the Taittiriya Upanishad and the Katha Upanishad. The Taittiriya Upanishad, the sloka is very nice to chant also. Beautiful meaning. There it says, Bhisha asmad vatah pavate Bhishodeti surya Bhishadagnischendrascha Bhisha asmadagnischendrascha Mrityurdhavati panchama iti. By his fear, because of his fear, Bhi means fear. Bhisha asmad, because of his fear of Brahman, not fear, I'll explain. Because of the fear of Brahman, Vatah pavate, Vata means wind blows because of God's power. What makes the wind able to blow and move things? God's power in the wind. Bhisha asmad vatah pavate, Bhishodeti suryaha, suryaha udeti. Sun rises every morning. At least it appears from the earth as if he is rising every morning. Shines all the time because of his power in the sun, as ordained by him. Bhisha means as ordained by him, ordered by him. Bhishadagnischendrascha. Fire burns because of the power of the Lord, as ordained by the Lord. Mrityurdhavati panchama iti. Mrityu means Kala, the Yama, the Lord of death. He performs his function of withdrawing beings when their time is up. Otherwise, everybody is always present. Problem. There's no space enough on the earth. If everybody was born from beginning of creation were to be living, but there's no space. So it's good that some people have to depart and making room for us. And our time we have to depart in making room for our younger generation. That's nature. That's good. It appears to be cruel, but that is the truth and it is essential truth. So Bhishasmadvatah pavate Bhishodeti surya Bhishasmadagnischendrascha Mrityurdhavati panchama iti. All nature, all beings, every plant, every animal, every ant, every person perform his or her its functions as ordained by the Lord, as empowered by the Lord, God's power. So is Anumanta, permits everything, allows everything to happen. So we go to verse number 23, description of Parabrahman. Now the conclusion of this section, verse number 23. य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. य एवं पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह वेत्ति. Vetti means one who knows. Ya vetti, one who knows Prakriti and Purusha along with the Prakriti's gunas. What we studied in the previous two sections. Sarvatha Vartamanapi, no matter in what condition such a person lives. Saha Bhuyaha means again, na abhijayate, will not be born. Last birth. Sri Ramakrishna said, those who come here, this is their last birth. That means the cycle of birth and death, which has been going on for thousands of repetitions, cycles, like a do loop. Go to the end and come back to the first step again. That will stop. But that means suffering. If somebody is interested to be in being born again, there is no problem. Nothing need be done. But if you want to put an end to this cycle of birth and death, and achieve liberation from all suffering permanently, totally, then we have to know the truth. This explained here. Purusha, Prakriti, and Prakriti's gunas. Who is Purusha, who is Prakriti? What are the two aspects of here? The personality, body, physical aspect, body, mind, and consciousness aspect, Purusha. Purusha is in the individual is same as Paramatma, Parama Purusha, Purushottama, and we are that. Our true nature is that. Upanishad says, you are that. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. That is the truth. If we know that truth, then there is no rebirth because consciousness has no birth or death. That we start from second chapter, sloka number 20. Nazayate, namriyate. Our Atman has no birth, no janma, no mrityu, eternal, pure consciousness, Sachidananda. That is what we are. If you know that, no means experience it, not theoretically by reading a book. We have to experience it. That is liberation. Then there is a end to the cycle of birth and death. Saha, such a person who knows, no matter in what condition he or she lives, bhuyaha again, na abhijayate will not be born, will be liberated. Salvation, mukti will come. So, in whatever condition a jnani lives, does not matter at all. I give an example from the Chandogya Upanishad. There was a kingdom. What I am trying to explain is, it does not matter in what condition a jnani lives. In a fine, nice mansion, air conditioned, centrally heated, driving Mercedes and BMW or Tesla, or going by cart or walking, doesn't matter. So if he is jnani, he is free from all suffering permanently. So in the Chandogya Upanishad, there is a story of a Brahmajnani. The story is long, but I'll make it short, briefly. There was a king in a kingdom. The king's name was Janashruti. Once, long time ago, I gave a Sunday talk on this one. Janashruti was a jnani, a great bhakta, devotee, and he had done a lot of good deeds administering his kingdom. So one evening he was relaxing on the terrace of his palace, enjoying the evening weather. And in the sky, some cranes were flying, birds, and the cranes were talking to each other. And the Janashruti could understand their conversation. One crane was saying to other crane, see, this King Janashruti is resting with his wife, queen, but he thinks he's a great jnani, but he does not know anything about Raikwa. Raikwa is much greater than Janashruti. One crane says to another crane. So that Janashruti hears, oh, these birds are talking about some other jnani. Who could be? And and the birds were saying, oh, that Raikwa who you are talking about, who lives under a cart. Yeah, that Raikwa is a greater jnani. The birds were talking like this. The Janashruti became curious. I want to know who is a jnani in my kingdom. So he sends his messengers, king, find out somebody living under a cart, a Brahmajnani. So his messengers go search all over the kingdom. There was no Brahmajnani anywhere. They couldn't find. They asked many people, are you Brahmajnani? Everybody says no. Then they go back to the king and say, no, we could not find any Brahmajnani, sir. The king, no, there is one Brahmajnani. The birds are saying, he is living under a cart. Go and search again thoroughly. So the messengers go again and search the whole kingdom. And they found a cart, and under the cart, a man was sitting, scratching his body like this, like this. So the messengers asked him, who are you? Are you Raikwa? That man didn't show any response. Sir, please say are you Raikwa the Brahmajnani? And Raikwa says, get out of here, what Brahmajnani? Then the messengers knew he is the Jnani. living under a cart, scratching his, no proper clothing, nothing, unkempt, not taken bath. So when he goes back to the king, they go back to the king. Why we found a person? He's living under a cart. He looks like a jnani. The king goes with a lot of fruits and gifts and everything, basketfuls of. Goes to the that name man's name was Raikwa, the cartman. During the day he would push the cart. At night he would sleep under the cart. No house, nothing. So the Janashruti asks him, "Sir, are you Raikwa the Jnani?" He doesn't reply properly. Yes, indifferent. Then the king asks again, yes, he says. Then the king gives all the presents, basketfuls of fruits and flowers and whatever gifts he had brought. Please take this, sir. Give me Brahmajnana. No, get out of here. I don't do any. I don't want all these things. He refuses. You are. I'm not going to tell you anything. Raikwa says like that. King was not. King was persistent. He insisted, "Sir, please tell me." Then he, disappointed, goes back. Second time brings his daughter. King brings his daughter. Again, prays to this cartman, "Sir, please accept my daughter, all these gifts. Half the kingdom, everything I will give you. Please give me Brahmajnana." Raikwa looked at the daughter, innocent young lady. Then he became compassionate, melted, his heart melted. Then he teaches Janashruti, the gist of Brahmajnana. So the story illustrates a Brahmajnana, it does not have any external signs of holiness. Holy Mother said, if you get divine knowledge, you don't grow two horns on your head. You appear like everybody else. So here, Sarvartha Vartamanopi. Why all this story came? Because in the 23rd sloka, second line says, Sarvatha Vartamanopi. Jnani can live in any condition, anywhere. Like Ramana Maharshi used to live on the top of a mountain in a small cave. Small cave. There's only one room for one person there. Nothing else. He lived there for many years. So it doesn't matter. Sarvatha Vartamanopi. Such a jnani who knows Prakriti, Purusha, and the gunas of Prakriti, and his own nature as the Purusha, Supreme Being, Paramapurusha, Jivatma is same as Paramatma. When he knows that one, person knows that one, he or she, Saha, such a person, Bhuyaha na abhijayate, will not be born again, he will be liberated. He is already liberated. Body might continue to live as long as Prarabdha is there, liberated, Jivan Mukta. So that is the end of that section, 23. So Sarvata Vartamanopi. Now, how do people gain this knowledge? How can I gain that knowledge of Prakriti, Purusha, Paramatma? How can I give up attachment to body, mind, and realize my true nature as Purusha? That methods are described here. The whole Gita describes the spiritual practices in different types, suitable for different people. But in a nutshell, it described in the 24th sloka. How? So sloka number 24. In some books, the sloka number is 25. This 24 here. Jnanenatmani pashyanti kechidatmanamatmana anye sankhyena yogena karma yogena chapare. Kechid, and some people dhyanena atmanam atmani atmana pashyanti, by meditation. Jnana means meditation. Some perceive the self in and by the self by means of meditation. Where is the self? Not outside anywhere. You are looking for God in the heaven, like that one. No, God is within us. He is us. Atmani, in one's own self, the self is there. Not anywhere outside. People go to all mountains and every place, pilgrimage places looking for God, right here there within us, closest to us. But that is necessary, is a preliminary step. We have to do pilgrimage. It has value. Purifies our mind because many people have done tapasya there. Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada says, Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. Why become a place becomes holy, place of pilgrimage? Tirtha means a place of pilgrimage. Why such a place becomes very special? Where people go, like Varanasi, Rameshwaram, etc. Because many holy people have lived in those places and have done a lot of meditation and austerities. Now we go to Belur Jarambati, Kamarpukur. Why? Sri Ramakrishna lived there in Dakshineshwar. Mother lived in Jarambati and Calcutta. We go to these are places of pilgrimage for us. Their holy vibrations are still there, very much, very powerful. Place of pilgrimage. So, Kechid Atmana, but we don't have to go to any place if you have Brahma Jnana. Ramana Maharshi never went to any place, never went outside of Tiruvannamalai at all. Because you had found Atman within the self. So, where do you go for looking for God? It is right here. You found it, experienced it. So, there is no need to go anywhere. For people like us, we have to go until we are able to see God within us. Atmani. This the second word is in verse number 24. Dhyanena Atmani Atmanam Pashyanti. Kechid Atmanam Atmana Atmani Pashyanti. Where do they see the Atman? By the Atman, in the Atman, in the self. Nowhere to go, nothing outside. He's right. He's a very innermost person. Atman is God Himself. That was in the 10th chapter we studied, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasha Yasthitaha. O Arjuna, I am present as the Atman in all the beings, without exception. Most are not aware, some are aware of my presence. Anye, second line, verse 24. Other people, Sankhya Yogena. What is Sankhya Yoga? This is explained in the commentary. I'll read the English commentary. Here, Shankara's commentary. Here, Sankhya means analytic thought in the following way. These are the constituents, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The self is their opposite, being the witness of their operations. This thought is a yoga by which they see the self by the self. That means separating our personality. Sankhya Yoga, Purusha Prakriti, it says. One part of us is Prakriti, which are Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. That Prakriti has manifested itself into body, mind, sense organs. Karya Karana Kartritve Heto Prakriti Richate, like this we studied earlier. The Prakriti part in us is appearing as body, mind, and sense organs. 10 sense organs. This is Prakriti part. Then that is separate from Purusha, which is the consciousness part. Separating the two parts within us, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, same thing. Kshetra, the physical part, Kshetrajna, the consciousness part. Separating and identify with with the Purusha part, Kshetrajna part, and rejecting our identity with the Kshetra or Prakriti part. I'm not the body mind, I am the Atman. That is Sankhya Yoga. Same as Jnana Yoga. So, ke anye sankhena yogena. That means you have to give up attachment to body mind. Same thing comes again and again. Attachment, giving up attachment. Whole gist of Gita is only detachment. Gita. Karma yogena cha pare. Other people, apare, other people. Karma yogena, by karma yoga. What is karma yoga? You have studied that many times. In different places throughout Gita, karma yoga comes. Almost every chapter, some reference is there to Karma Yoga. The one shloka where we can understand Karma Yoga in practical terms, in a way that we can practice, is in the third chapter, shloka number 30. Many places this has come, same thing has come, 330. chapter 3, verse number 30. There, Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives 5 instructions, 5 things to do for Karma Yoga. If you do those 5 things, at least some of them, if we do, then mind becomes pure and we get knowledge, true knowledge, Brahma Jnana. By doing all our work as offering, 330. Maya sarvani karmani sanyasya. First instruction. Dedicating all actions to me. Whatever we do is offering to God. Whether sweeping the floor, vacuuming the floor, or cooking or cleaning, or doing administration in the office, or whatever, engineering, whatever you do, offer it to God as you are offering. Why should he offer? Does he need anything? No, he doesn't need any of their work. But why we should offer? 2 reasons why we should offer everything to God. One reason is to become free from attachment to that work. Karma phala. I've offered it to God, it is up to him. I have no more connection with the karma phala. Detachment. One reason why we should offer everything to God. Second reason is expression of love, devotion. That's the giving a small thing, somebody a meal or a cup of tea or a shirt or a shawl or somebody. If you give to somebody, why we should give? That person already has so many shirts and shawls and cups of tea he can have. But when we give, we are expressing our love and devotion. Giving means expressing love and devotion and becoming free from attachment. 2 reasons why we should give all karma to God. That instruction comes so many places in the Gita, 927, 1857, everywhere. So, like 5 instructions are given there in 330. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. We are discussing karma yoga here, verse 24. Second instruction is adhyatma chetasa. Adhyatma means divine presence within us, God's presence within us. Adi means inside, Atma means self. Being aware of that. Always aware that God is present within me and everybody else, and in the object also. The object is also Brahman. So 424, Brahmarupananda Brahma Havihi. Even the food that we eat is also Brahman. Eater is also Brahman. Action of eating is also Brahman. By thinking like that, or in Shankara's commentary, Shankara gives a different meaning for Adhyatma Chetasa. He says, Ishwaraya Bhrityaiva Sarvani Karmani Karyediti Matya. All work we should be done as a servant serves the master. Bhritya means a servant. Everything that we do should be done with devotion to please the Lord as a servant. As a God's servant, I am doing this one. Serving him. As Hanuman used to serve Sri Rama with great devotion. That is second instruction. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Third instruction is nirashi bhutva. Without expecting anything in return. When you do something, we should do it and offer the karma phala to God, and I am free. If something comes, I accept it. If good things comes, it's okay. Bad thing comes, okay. Success, okay. Failure, okay. Not going to complain. Detachment. It comes in 248 also. Nirmamo bhutva. Nirmama means not mine. Always we have the habit of saying, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Some people take other properties and they say, this is mine also. Somebody else, but they call it mine. Take it away. No, shouldn't be done. It's height of ignorance. So, not mine. Everything belongs to God. Yeah, I also belong to God. My body also belongs to Him. There's nothing mine. Really. There mamo bhutva. That is total detachment, unselfishness. Then we approach God. Yuddhasva vigata jvaraha. Jvara means fever. Here, jvara means mental stress and anxiety. When you do something, we are anxious whether you will succeed or not, whether it's enough or not. What happens if failure comes? You are anxious, you are stressful, you are stressed out. Without stress and anxiety, we should work calmly, nicely, joyfully, and with love. Success, failure, you are not worried about it. Doing our work is our duty. Result is not in my hands. Result is up to Him. That's studied in 247, 248. Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana. Te adhikara karmani eva. Your duty is only to do your work assigned to you, come to you, which you are chosen to do, whatever. Properly, nicely. End of the matter. Phaleshu mate adhikara. You have no control over the phala, karma phala. Why? I'm the doer. Why should I not control the result? You can ask. But as you know from experience and analysis, we know that many factors besides my work affect the outcome. We make a simple equation in our minds. My effort equals result, or input equals output. It doesn't work that way in nature. Output equals input plus other factors from nature, from other people. Supposing you are the most efficient worker in your group, and four people are working on a project, and you are the best worker, do a lot more work than the other three, but one guy goes off, doesn't do his part, then whole project does not succeed. This happens in student projects or in company projects, corporate environment. If one person does not pull his load, the effort of all other people also will be spoiled. Same thing happens in sports. In the 4 by 400 meters relay, four people run. Three of them are excellent runners, top in their field. But one person that day does not perform well, the whole team will fail. See, we know that. So result is not completely under our control. We still have to do our best. Then whatever happens, good or bad, success, failure, we have to accept it calmly. Where did we study that one? Many places in the Gita. One place where you should remember is 248. Chapter 2, verse 48. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Siddhi means success in our work. Asiddhi means failure. Siddhya siddhyo sama bhutva. Whether we succeed or not, after having done our best, we have to do our best. That is our duty. There our responsibility ends. Result is siddhi, asiddhi, success, failure is not in our hands. Many factors affect. We have no control over those factors. Weather, for example. Supposing a farmer does a lot of hard work, preparing the ground and soil and putting the fertilizer, sowing the seeds and everything. But if too much rain comes and spoils the crop, what can he do? He did his best, but no success, failure. So things like that beyond our control the output of our work. That is the problem. That's the nature of work. So what is the lesson? Sri Krishna says, Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva. Success, failure, whatever comes, will accept it. I have done my best part. That's my responsibility, do my best. I should not cut short my effort. Then I'm not responsible for failure. Failure is due to other factors. We have no control over what other people do, what the nature does. That is detachment. That is Karma Yoga. We are discussing Karma Yoga in 24th verse, chapter 13. Karma Yogena Chapare. So if throughout the Gita, Sri Krishna gives instructions on Karma Yoga. By doing Karma Yoga, some people reach the knowledge, self-knowledge. Inquiry, I'm not body, I'm Brahman, that is not the only path. I'm Brahmasmi is not good for everybody. Sri Ramakrishna says in the Gospel, in the Kali Yuga, for majority of people who are body conscious, it's not safe to say I'm he, I'm Brahmasmi, Soham. It is very difficult. The path of devotion is easier. Path of karma is also easier because you have to do karma all the time. Everybody has to do some karma or other. If you do it properly, then mind becomes pure, knowledge will come, devotion will come. Dedicating all actions to God. In these ways, people achieve self-knowledge. So, doing verse number 24, Dhyane Atmani Pashyanti. Dhyana means meditation. See, people do meditation on the I'm Brahman. Many cannot do that one. Kechidatmatmana Anye Sankhena Yogena Vichara Marga, Sankhya Yoga. All this body, mind, Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, none of those, I am the Purusha. Karma yogena chapare. Some people do karma yoga. The 25th verse is simpler. We'll do that one. How else can it be known? Other than dhyana, Sankhya yoga, karma yoga, what other path is there to know God? Verse number 25. Anye tveva majanantah shrutva upasate tepi chati tarantyeva mrityam srutiparayanaha. Those people who are listening to the exposition of Shastras by illumined people. Anye, other people, evam ajanantaha, not knowing this. They don't know the Vichara Marga, Brahmasmi, they cannot do that one. They don't know that one. Evam ajanantaha. Anyebhya shrutva upasate. Anyebhya, from other people who know God. Illumined teacher. Anyebhya, from other people, hearing from others, shrutva, hearing. Upasate, they worship. Hear from others about the self and worship. They also, tepi, mrityam atitaranti eva, intent on hearing, shruti parayanaha, intent on hearing from other people who know the truth, overcome death indeed, mrityam atitaranti. They overcome death, that means they overcome ignorance. They reach God, liberation, by simply with great devotion and attention, listening to the truth, exposition of truth given by illumined people with great faith. That is the truth. So that is also possible. Shravanam from Guru. So they approach a Guru who is illumined Guru. The qualities of a Guru are described in the other places, other scriptures. We'll study that some other time. You already know some of them. By approaching the illumined Guru with great devotion and humility, then listening to every word of the Guru with great faith and concentration, some people gain knowledge. Sravana Manana, Nididhyasana, listening, reflection, meditation. That also gives knowledge. So these are different ways in which we can gain knowledge. This is a summary, briefly. Detailed instructions are given in many places. Instructions about spiritual practice, about karma yoga, about bhakti yoga, how to practice pure bhakti. All these things have been given in different places. Just brief summary here. Here he says, either by meditation, jnanena, or by Sankhya, Vichara Marga, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, this is all Prakriti, I am Purusha, or by Karma Yoga, or by listening to element teacher with devotion. Either in one of these ways or combining some of these ways. Doesn't have to be only one. You can combine 2-3 things. Sometimes you can do Karma Yoga, sometimes you can listen to the teacher's exposition. Like that. Anyhow, we have to know the truth. That is end of this section 25. Now 26 onwards, another topic begins. Whatever we see in this universe, any object, living or non-living, has two parts in it, Kshetra, Kshetrajna. Come back to the Kshetra, Kshetrajna. We will study that next time. And please reflect on the slokas. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Call me or send email. I shall be happy to share my little knowledge with you. Let me say the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may all be happy. May all be free from suffering of all kind, diseases and other problems. May all realize and practice what is noble, dharmic, and auspicious. May no one be subject to misery. Om peace. May there be peace in our hearts, Adhyatmika Shanti. May there be peace and harmony amongst all beings, Adi Bhautika Shanti. May there be peace everywhere in nature, आदिदैविकशान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. All of you stay well, and God willing, see you next week. Thanks very much.
Swami, I have a question that in Sankhya Yoga, there is no scope for any grace.
It is same as Jnana Yoga.
But like, Bhakti Yoga,